welcome to SelfCare After Cruel and Unusual Colonizing, where I aim to highlight the pervasive ways that colonizer culture has shaped our beliefs, our attitudes, and our actions as Black people and people of color. I use historical and cultural context to help enhance our understanding of these oppressive systems and how they are a direct product of white collective cultural creation. Basically, white people invented racism. Yeah. The first week of May was so long, and with social media, we're inundated with so much misinformation, false information, sensationalized information, and amusement, which is non-thinking entertainment. And it makes it difficult for us to be forward-thinking, critical thinking individuals. So with that in mind, I was thinking about taking the three, I guess like most popular, I don't know, buzzword, I don't know, the three things that resonated with me that I know that I could provide an alternate perspective, relying on my cultural morals and interpretations. And when I post the cultural iceberg, you'll see that interpretations is a cultural element, meaning the way a group of people interprets a specific thing is cultural. The ramifications of operating as if the myth of white supremacy is fact includes damaging our mental, emotional, and physiological health as the targeted oppressed population. So Taylor Swift and Beyonce, YG and his video including Charlamagne's comments, and the wrongful banning of Minister Farrakhan. Again, I'm coming from a whole different perspective. So far, I have not seen some of my views shared, although no idea is a new idea technically, because I don't know, the elders say there's nothing new under the sun. But so far, I haven't seen these things shared. Also, I grew up in the Nation of Islam, so I am able to provide some insight that a lot of people don't have, simply because my foundation as an early child was rooted and affirmed in integrity, in Black affirming space, in dignity, in God, and morale, and being principled and ethical, and walking in a line of righteousness, which shapes the perspectives that I'm able to provide on these topics, and honestly dictates how I move around this world and shit. Excuse the last curse word part. So before, I won't even say before, I'll say while we are discussing the ways that white people appropriate and steal the creative content of Black people and people of color and put their name on it, because culturally, that's what the fuck white people do. Before we do that and jump to the defense as if we are having a principled argument, we should discover if we're having a principled argument or if it's personal meaning. Y'all, Beyonce, since let's say 2011, has been responsible for stealing the creative content of so many lesser known and unknown artists and creators from around the world, including the United States. So if we are upset with if you are anti-plagiarism, which is the taking, the stealing, the hijacking of someone else's work and putting your name on it, or representing it as if it is your own creation without properly crediting them and considering the entertainment industry without compensating them for it, if you are anti that, then that is consistent. That is a moral issue. So check me out. If you have adopted the cultural ways of colonizers, that means that you tend to have, that you would have a laissez-faire approach to plagiarism. Why? Because white people steal, and culturally it is acceptable, or I won't even say acceptable, I would say that it is pacified or normal, or not even that. Let me get my language here right, y'all. Alright, so culturally, if you're a part of a group of people who have a record, a history of stealing, then plagiarism and other forms of theft is okay. It doesn't suit you to have a belief that that is not okay when that's what y'all do. Meaning, if you have belonged to the people who steal land and claim it as their own, or take the vernacular aesthetic or mannerisms of a group of people and claim it as if that's just like how you move, then yeah, you don't have a problem with taking the choreography, the music, the entire performance of another group, another person, because that's what you do. And as consumers who have absorbed colonizer culture, many of us are not consistent with whether we are okay with plagiarism or not. Personally, I'm not. So if you're upset at Taylor Swift, be upset at Beyonce as well. It's only fair. For many people, and I'm saying many people, I don't know, but the way social media is set up, it seems like there's more people than not who, when someone is wealthy or a celebrity, their transgressions tend to be pacified or trivialized, as if it's okay because of their wealth, because of their celebritydom. For me, that's not the case. The more money, the more resources you have, the more I expect more of you. There are people who can only rely on their gifts and their talents to get them forward in life. And I find it to be so cruel for someone with resources and wealth and supposed talent to come along and just take it and say that, oh, I was inspired by that. That ain't cool, y'all. That's not cool. I personally would hate if it ever happened to me. Knock on wood, because, you know, people steal from Black women all the time. Self-care after cruel and unusual colonizing in this context looks like restoring credit to the person whom created the thing. And I understand in the music industry, it's like hella people participate on a particular project, and like maybe that's always been. However, it's no doubt in my mind that majority of the people whom we highly regard as the most creative, the most innovative, yo, if you get that title and you stole everything that you're getting credit for, are you really that talented? It's more so they have access to resources and money. I'm a substitute teacher, y'all, in Atlanta, Georgia. If the same little kids in the hood, in any community, I'm originally from Denver, Colorado. If the same kids got the same resources and money and a platform, they would be just as great as the people whom we are regarding as celebrities. So when I think of self-care after cruel and unusual colonizing, yes, it includes healing from the erosion and impact that oppression has on our mental, emotional, and physiological health. It also includes restoring our morals and values and getting regrounded on how we identify and see ourselves as Black people and people of color. And of course, that's contingent upon each individual ethnic group, right? For me, that includes being principled instead of personal. If something is wrong, it's wrong, and I can't make it right simply because I'm the fan of the person who is doing the wrong thing, because I do not want to entertain the idea that they are this human being who's an opportunist and a capitalist and like all the other things that don't have the wellness of my people in mind. You dig what I mean? So yeah, be principled and not personal, and give credit where credit is due, because it is only fair. So I personally got a headache after consuming that YG video. For real, y'all. There are a couple of things that needs to be addressed. As people who have assimilated into colonizer culture, a large portion of us have began to engage with our ancestors, our history, our leaders' namesake in the same exploitative ways that the colonizers do. We're willing to pimp out our own shit in order to make a buck. Every nigga ain't deep, y'all. A lot of these rappers out here, in fact, have the platform that they do because they're not necessarily deep. So please don't do the Charlemagne thing and give reason and insight and credit to something that doesn't exist. Simply put, we are custodians of a great legacy, and we have a responsibility to do right in the representation of our elders, our ancestry, our history. Seeing a body mimicking a lynching while rapping, bitch, niggas, nigga, bitch, ho, bitch, I'll shoot you because I ain't no athlete. It's like, golly, y'all, our ancestors are rolling over in their grave. And more so, I had a Professor Spellman who said, a little bit of knowledge is a dangerous thing. Why? Because you'll do like Charlemagne and start reaching for shit to make comparisons that don't exist. And it causes further delusion. It causes further misinformation and the spread of false information. when you do that, it's dangerous. But again, there's a very little careful thought in the social ramifications of the type of work that we put out. There's so many layers to this, but in general, people are not informed of accurate American history, in part because the direct descendants of those who committed the genocide of indigenous people, those who enslaved African people for hundreds of years, those who implemented and acted on laws such as Jim Crow and lynching laws and black codes and all the oppressive shit that was done in the past, it continues to happen today. Because those people are still in power and are the ones writing the history books, motherfuckers don't know. So you have a lot of black folk who make statements like, we were more than just slaves. And it's like, during the time of our enslavement, we were more than just slaves. Black folk are responsible for over 500 inventions, from the traffic light to the mailbox to luggage to the elevator to the radiator to the AC. But because white people plagiarize and take the creative and just the innovative work of other people and put their names on it, black people have not been properly credited for our contributions to the advancement of society as a whole around the globe. But anyway, yeah, y'all, that video is a no bueno. It's not okay. But only when you value a history, when you respect and highly regard a group of people in the context in which Black Americans are revered, are you willing to be like, yeah, nah, there's something really violating about that does not do honor to this great history, to this great struggle. And we know that, like, niggas, bruh, niggas do not think about shit. Niggas don't think, like, what is this impact? How does this impact my people? Niggas don't motherfucking think. It's all about that money, clickbait, sensationalized. No one is actually putting much thought behind it. And then you have people like Charlemagne. You know, I don't want to come at old dude, but I'm like, read a couple of books and feel as though he can pacify something that's so motherfucking detrimental. It's like, cuz, bruh, god damn, who are these motherfucking people with these motherfucking platforms? How, like, oh my god. It's just like, because you're famous and you can articulate a little something about something every now and again, then your voice is used to pacify, justify, or explicate something that has absolutely nothing to do with nothing. I'm gonna let y'all know, YG was just like, oh yeah, I don't know. But in my head, he was like, let's make a video about snitching and like, let's make about some slave shit. And that's how simple that conversation probably motherfucking went. Obedience to Allah, honor and dignity, belief, faith, modesty, purity, righteousness, adjectives and language the average person never hears in relation to Black American people. Many of our cultural customs are deteriorating from the erosion of discrimination, inequality, state violence, detrimental media representation, and a plethora of other targeted oppressions. The powerhouses that control media and policy are disinterested in untainted faith leaders, political and cultural leaders of the Black American community with a specific message of righteousness, self-determination, economic power, self-love, community love, political power, and unity. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter does not have the wellness and longevity of Black people in mind. The banning of Minister Farrakhan from social media platforms mirrors the historical actions of removing Black leaders and elders from having access to the general population. Minister Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam is a Black American history. Minister Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam has been a great pillar in the fight for Black liberation and have represented us in the most dignified way. It's responsible for the feeding and the nourishment and the education and fighting for Black people in ways that no other collective has consistently done. And as a Black American people, we have a responsibility to set boundaries on our culture and enforce those boundaries, so people who are not of our ethnic group cannot just come in and bash and comment on our culture and the members in our community because they are infatuated with or participate in aspects of our culture. We got to do right by our self-care after cruel and unusual colonizing looks like peeping how them blue-eyed devils move and acting accordingly. And we have blueprints. We can rely on the messages that were there before we were even thought of, most of us. So definitely check out some of the teachings of Minister Farrakhan. Read up on the work of the Nation of Islam. Y'all, when y'all see a brother walking down the street selling Final Call and bean pie, buy it. Support, y'all. The Nation of Islam has been a consistent, non-compromising force. So yeah, I hope y'all liked the video. I hope you were able to get something new and fresh from it. Drop your comments, your insights, your love below. Follow me on Instagram, subscribe, post, share, all of that. I'll check in with y'all later.